All right, let's take a look at worksheet 8.6. On all of these, you're going to use the law of sines, whether you're trying to find a side or an angle. So the rule you're going to use is basically side of an angle over its corresponding side equals side of an angle over its corresponding side. I'll throw up the third, but just to let you know that it's basically the angle and the side across from it. The angle, the side across from it, equals the angle and the side across from it. Again, using sine. So, on the first one, it says find AC. So I'm trying to find this side right here. So what I like to do is I like to label it with the letters. So I have angle B, across from it is little b. I also need, so I can go ahead and start off by saying, all right, sine of 22 degrees over little b is one of the ratios I'm going to use. Now, to get the other ratio, I have to look at the side that I have. Well, I have this side right here. However, I don't have angle C yet. So I'm going to go ahead and write the 24 here and the sine, but I got to find the angle. So I remember my rule of triangles from geometry is that the sum of three angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to go 180 minus 118 plus 22. So we add the two other angles together, subtract from 180, that ends up being 40 degrees. So that 40 goes right there. Now that I have my two ratios equal to each other, or I have my proportion, I can cross multiply. So b times sine of 40 is the same thing or is equal to sine of 22 times 24. I like to write the numbers first. So you'll see me always put b in front of the trig function and the number in front of the trig function. So now I need to just get b by itself. So I can divide both sides by the sine of 40. So b is equal to, so I want to plug this whole thing right here into my calculator. So that's where the fun begins. It's actually not too hard, you just need to make sure you use parentheses correctly. So if you look at my little screen, we'll do it here for you. So you go 24 sine of 22. Now, close the parentheses. If you forget to do that, you're going to get the wrong answer. Divided by sine of 40. Getting good habits, close your parenthesis. Hit enter, and we get 13.98. Rounding to the nearest 10 tells me that it actually rounds to 14.0. And that's it for number one. Number two, similar fashion, we're trying to find AB. So here's side AB, which is across from angle C. So I'm going to label it a little c. So I know I can start by saying sine of 53 degrees over little c equals, well, look for the side I have. This one's a little bit nicer because they give you the angle and the side right away. So there's no additional work to do other than solve it directly. So sine is equal to sine of 44 over its corresponding side 7. So now, just like we did last problem, cross multiply. So c times sine of 44 is equal to, multiply, 7 times sine of 53. Just like you did on the previous problem, divide both sides by the sine of 44 to get little c by itself. So little c is equal to, calculator time. So let's go ahead and plug this one in. So we have 7 times sine of 53, close that parenthesis, divided by sine of 44. Close my parenthesis, go ahead and hit enter. This one rounds to 8.0 since we're still rounding to the nearest tenth. All right, 2 down, 8 to go. So on BC, if I take a look at this one here, I'm trying to find BC, which is across from angle A. So that's my little a. So I can go ahead and start by saying, all right, sine of 39 over little a equals, well, the only side I have is 27, but I don't have angle B. So I can go ahead and say sine of something over 27. So to get the angle B here, again, we have to go, I'm going to write it down here since I have a little more room, 180 minus the quantity of 51 plus 39. This one's interesting because it ends up equaling 90 degrees. So since it does equal 90 degrees, I could technically use right trig to solve this. But you can always use the law of sines no matter if it's a right triangle or not a right triangle. So, cross multiply here. So a times sine of 90 is equal to 27 times sine of 39. So then, I'm just going to divide both sides by the sine of 90. And I have my a. So, calculator time once again. Just going to plug this in. 27 times sine of 39 divided by sine of 90. Close my parentheses. 16.99, which rounds to 17.0. All right, number 4. We're continuing kind of the same process. I am looking for side AB. So AB down here is across from little or angle C. So I can go ahead and start by saying, all right, sine of 63 over little c is equal to, well, I don't have angle A. So just like I was doing before, to get angle A, I have to go 180 minus 101 plus 63. So I get 164, angle A ends up being 16 degrees. So I'll have sine of 16 degrees is across from my 9, hence why I had to find it. So, cross multiply yet again. So c times sine of 16 is equal to 9 times sine of 63. Divide both sides by the sine of 16 degrees. Cross out, so c equals, calculator time, 9 times sine of 63 divided by sine of 16. Go ahead and hit enter on that one, and sure enough, this one rounds to 29.1 units. Almost said degrees there, but we're still working with sides. The ones with angles are coming up soon. Number 5, last one with the sides. So when I look at this one here, again, I'm going to need to figure out what angle B is since that's across from the side. I apologize. I need to label what side I'm looking for, which is BC, little a. So I can go ahead and start with that. Sine of 93 degrees over little a is equal to, now I got to find this angle B. So 180 minus 93 plus 58. That ends up equaling 29. So I'm going to take that angle, 29 degrees, over its corresponding side, 16. So again, cross multiply. So a times sine of 29 degrees is equal to 16 times sine of 93. Divide both sides by sine of 29. Cross out, so a equals, plug it into our calculator, 16 times sine of 93. Oops, let me see it again. So sine of 93, close parentheses, divided by sine 29. close parenthesis, enter. 32.95 rounds to 33.0. All right, that's halfway done. Now on the second half of these problems, you're still going to use the law of sines. You're now just going to try to find the angle. So on this first one, we're trying to find angle C. I'm going to go ahead and circle the angle on the side across from it so I can know what I'm writing here. Sine of C over 21 equals, I look at the angle I'm given and make sure I have that corresponding side. So I'm going to set it equal to sine of 88 over 26. Now, since I'm finding angles, I'm going to use inverses on all of these. So I'm going to first, though, however, cross multiply. Boom, boom. So 26 sine of C equals 21 times sine of 88. Divide both sides by 26. So now I have my sine of C by itself. So now to get C by itself, I need to do the sine inverse. So I'm going to take what's here in parentheses and start off by saying sine inverse. Now you can put this all in your calculator at once so long as you use parentheses appropriately. So again, let's watch this carefully at how we can enter this in our calculator. So we're doing sine inverse, so second sine. So we just type in 21 times sine of 88, close the parenthesis. Got to close that angle off so it knows to do that. Evaluate that particular angle. Divided by the sine of 26, close the parenthesis so it knows to take the sine inverse of the whole thing. And there we go. We have our angle. Angle C is equal to, whoops, that popped way up. So angle C is equal to 53.8 degrees. All right, 7, 8, 9, same process all the way through. It's just using that right angle trick. We want to find angle C again. So sine of C over 20 is equal to, what angle do I have inside? Sine of 82 over 29. So now again, cross multiply. So 29 times sine of C is equal to 20 times sine of 82. Divide both sides by 29. Now again, since we're finding an angle, this is where you go sine inverse, sine inverse. So they cross out. So angle C equals, you're going to take the sine inverse of all this in parentheses. So slide my calculator over. So second sine, 20 times sine of 82, close parentheses, divided by 29, close the parentheses on the whole thing, and we get angle C to be 43.1 degrees. All right, 8, 3 more to go. So on number 8, we start off with what we're looking for. Angle C seems to be the popular one to find on this worksheet. So sine of C over 10 is equal to, what do I have? Sine of 99 over 21. So I'm going to cross multiply again. So 21 times sine of C, again, cross multiplying, boom, boom, okay, times 10, times, equals 10 times sine of 99. So divide both sides by 21. Oops, I wrote double sign there, my apologies. So it should say 10 times sine of 99 over 21. Cross out. So now we're going to go sine inverse of this whole thing. Cross out. So angle C equals, so we're going to go sine inverse. So second sine, 10 times sine of 99 divided by 21. close my parentheses, and voila. Whoa, I must have typed in something wrong there. Let me just double check, because that should come out as a decimal there. Oh, I didn't do sine inverse. My apologies. So second, some of you probably saw that right away. Second sine, so I have sine inverse of 10 times sine of 99, close parentheses, divided by 21. And that looks much better, 28.1 degrees. 2 more to go. Let's see if we're finding angle C again. Nope, here we're finding angle A. So if I look here, going down nice and skinny, sine of A corresponds to side 11. Now the other angle here I have here is angle C, which corresponds to 129. Whoops, I apologize. It can't correspond to that one. I know sometimes it's hard to see where that angle ends up there, all right, equals, but this 129 is actually angle B, because since it's more than 90 degrees and will be the largest angle, it should correspond to the largest side. So it has to be sine of 129 over 33. So on this one here, when I cross multiply, so I'm going to move this up just a little bit. See here, did it actually move it up? There we go. So cross multiply. So 33 times sine of A equals 11 times sine of 129. Divide both sides by 33. Then I want to take the sine inverse. Cross out sine inverse of this whole thing. So let's plug this in. Second sine, can't forget to do that like I did on the last one, times, or second sine of 11 times sine of 129, all divided by 33, equals about 15.01, which would just be 15. So our angle A here is equal to 15 degrees. All right, last one for the worksheet. This one's a little bit of a longer lesson. So here's the angle that I have. Sorry, jumped ahead a little bit. Angle A is what I want. So I can go ahead and set this up. Sine of A over 8 is equal to sine of 104 over 30. So I'm going to cross multiply again. So 30 sine of A is equal to 8 times sine of 104. Divide both sides by 30. So then we just need to take the inverse. So let's do that for our last one here. Whoops, grabbed the wrong one there. Let's try that again. So second sine, 8 times sine of 104, close parenthesis, divided by 30, close parenthesis. Oh, I did it again. How about second sine? I wonder if I could have swore I hit it that time, but oh well, glad I caught it. 8 sine of 104, close parenthesis, divided by 30. Let's get it right this time. 14.995, which would round angle A to, whoa. So angle A would equal 15.0 degrees. All right, so that ends this video.